Hello and welcome to this new analysis. So today we're going to crack the ultimate physiological code for CrossFit and Hyrox athletes in the hobby field. If you want to move heavy weights, but at the same time an absolute madness to the day, then you are right here. Today we combine two truly groundbreaking approaches from science. The Zone 2, research by Inigo and Millan, and the brilliant principles for strength and muscle building by Dr. Andy Gelpin. Get ready, we'll take a look at how you as a hybrid athlete have to train to really get the absolute maximum out of it. Okay, a quick look at our driving plan. We start with the so-called hybrid dilemma. Then we set up the Zone 2 engine, take a look at the driving position and pack the whole thing at the end of the perfect combination. Let's go. Let's start with part 1, the hybrid dilemma. Or otherwise said, why do we often drive against an invisible wall? If you've already tried hard conditioning training with heavy lifting to mix, you know this wall very well. I mean, at the beginning of this question, why do you burn? With the Hyrox sled push or with really heavy wall balls in a watt? Actually so extremely quickly through the muscles. You really pull up the rear in training, you give everything. And you are in the red zone and completely at the end of your strength. The upper thighs feel like you have to break off. What's the point? Very easy. The answer lies with extremely many amateurs in the so-called garbage miles, i.e. gravel kilometers. That's a real trap in the many obstacles. In particular, if we want to work on the endurance, we actually train too hard. But if we want to build strength, we train too easy or just with the wrong parameters. We pass through exactly the physiological adjustments that you need for this brachial endurance and real explosive force. And that's exactly where we start. Let's get to point 2, the Zone 2 engine. We have to fully redefine our idea of endurance. Dr. Inigo and Millan has provided incredibly exciting research on how to build a metabolic engine that is absolutely unbeatable. So what is this famous Zone 2 training? Basically, the exact intensity at which your mitochondria, i.e. the small strength in your cells, is maximally required. Just like your fat burning. You mainly use your type 1 muscle fibers. The slow endurance fibers. And hey, you absolutely don't have to be completely out of breath. It's all about optimizing these cellulite power plants. And now it's really exciting for your next competition. The so-called lactate shuttle. For years, we thought lactate was just an annoying waste product that lets the muscles burn. But that's completely nonsense. Watch out. With intense load, like a heavy clean jerk, your fast muscle fibers produce lactate. This lactate is then transported to the slower fibers. If you have built up extremely strong methyltronurine through Zone 2 training, they simply use this lactate as a premium fuel. So your body cleanses itself. How great is that? Take a look at this impressive data. The comparison of power with a lactate value of about 2.0 millimole per liter in blood. A real elite athlete like Tadej Pogacar has achieved massive 300 watts before this value at all. His engine burns the lactate extremely efficiently. A moderate amateur makes you just 175 watts. So the amateur has to get much earlier to convert to pure carbohydrate. Get much faster. And the word becomes absolute hell. Because the lactate goes into the blood, instead of being burned. This number here, 2.0 millimole per liter, is our magical source value on the mental tarot display. If you go over there in the endurance training, the fat burning, the lipolysis, switches off. You no longer train your methyltronurine. But you are exactly in these feared garbages again. The solution? Iron discipline. Stay strict with engine construction under this threshold. Even if it feels too slow at the beginning. Okay, the engine is sitting. Let's continue with part 3, Gelpin riding. Because, to be honest, the strongest engine doesn't give you anything. If you break the axes, as soon as you touch a heavy long handle, power and bloated muscle sizes are two completely different pairs of shoes that require completely different training. Real strength is neurological. It's about your central nerve system. You move really heavy weights. Over 85% of the maximum weight. For only 1 to 5 repetitions. And take long breaks afterwards. Hypertrophy on the other hand. The thick growth of the muscle. You achieve through 5 to 30 repetitions. When you are about to lose muscle, you want to target tissue damage and metabolic stress. Dr. Galpin brings it super to the point. The absolute main drivers for hypertrophy are your total volume of training and the formation. Do you want to build bigger muscles? Do you have to burn the muscle cells by mechanical tension? And this typical pumping of burns. Literally a little bit harmful. Only that makes them bigger and thicker to grow. And this difference has a massive influence on your training planning. As a CrossFit or a Hyrox athlete. Because hypertrophy training destroys tissue. You need 48 to 72 hours of recovery to build it up again. Really, pure strength training in the maximum strength range. But loads primarily your nerve system. That causes much less cell damage. And no muscle cartilage. You can build up pure strength. So build up much more often in a week. Without structurally overloading. To put this extremely simple and brilliant into practice now. Galpin has the famous 3 to 5 rule parade. That's almost the holy grail for calm strength. Perfect for your barbell cycling. Or massive sled push. That's how it goes. 3 to 5 exercises. 3 to 5 sets. With 3 to 5 heavy repetitions. And very important. 3 to 5 minute breaks in between. If you follow this rule. Train your nerve system exactly. Without driving completely into the formation. So, we know how the motor and the chassis work. Let's come to the final puzzle part. Concurrent training. So the perfect combination. How do we melt these two worlds? Without them sabotaging each other. It's really hard knocked. With such a myth in the gyms and boxes. The so-called interference effect. So the belief that cardio will make your hardworking muscles cloud. Galpin's analysis clearly says it's wrong. Strictly regulated to a 2 training. Blocks your strength and hypertrophic gain. As well as not at all. As long as you don't constantly overdo cardio. And you lose muscle. Your driving position is absolutely safe. It's even a lot better. It's a real symbiosis. Think about the lactate shuttle from before. A massive zone 2 motor. Helps your body actively to transport the lactate and the metabolic stress into a hard, high-volume word. And burn as energy. That means for you. The muscles you built up through Galpin's strength training will stay in the workout much longer. Because your motor will remove all the trash in the background. You will be literally an unbearable machine. So, let's get to the ultimate playbook. For our hybrid hobby athletes. First, collect 150 to 180 minutes of Zone 2 training per week. Just use the talk test. You should be able to keep up with it. Second, use Galpin's 3 to 5 rule for pure strength. Third, control hypertrophy with 5 to 30 repetitions. Until you lose weight. But don't lose your muscle after that. And fourth, as a small extra. Once a week a short, brutal Biotimex interval at the absolute heart rate limit. That's the end of this analysis. Now it's your turn. The science is there. The tools are on the table. If you go to the gym next time, or rub your shoes on, ask yourself honestly. Do you want to waste more time with these garbage miles and burn out all the time? Or are you ready to train really smart to build a world-class motor and an unbreakable ride? The decision lies with you. Thank you for listening and see you next time. Copyright WDR 2020.